You probably think of these images when you hear the words Pearl Harbor, the surprise Japanese attack that launched the US into World War II. But do you know about the cultural erasure that Pearl Harbor suffered at the hands of the US military long before 1941?
How does it feel for you as a native Hawaiian to see what has become of Pearl Harbor?
It's devastating.
That's Camille, a native Hawaiian educator I met while visiting Pearl Harbor. She told me that Pearl Harbor, or Pu'uloa as native Hawaiians call it, was once considered the breadbasket of Oahu. It's actually called Pearl Harbor because of all the pearl-producing oysters that used to live in the waters but disappeared. There also used to be fish ponds like these all over the Hawaiian Islands. Fish ponds are sophisticated walled-off farms where locals harvested fish for centuries. It's believed that when Captain Cook, the first documented Westerner, arrived to Hawaii in 1778, there were 360 fish ponds across all of the islands, which helped to feed around 500,000 people.
They lived and survived off of this land. So the idea of being able to support ourselves and how much the military has compromised that, it's maddening.
Christian missionaries and sugar barons first came to Hawaii in the 1800s, exploiting the natural resources and the Hawaiian people. And it wasn't long before the US military took note of Hawaii's strategic position in the Pacific. In 1873, this US general called Pearl Harbor a perfect harbor of refuge in time of war.
The US Navy, they started to realize whoever controls Pearl Harbor controls the world.
In 1893, the military helped a group of white businessmen overthrow the Hawaiian monarchy, which led to Hawaii being annexed by the US. In 1908, the US military established Pearl Harbor as a naval station.
How did the construction of the naval base change the area?
I mean, it changed the very geography of it. When it comes to fish ponds, there's a dependence on the natural system, the tides moving in and out. And so when they dredged it, they completely changed how the systems could work. It killed the life that was in that harbor.
Over a century of military activity later, and there are more than 140 known hazardous areas in the Pearl Harbor Naval Complex, and only 3 fish ponds remain. The US Department of Health says the harbor's fish and shellfish are not safe to eat anymore.
The military is this toxic machine. Unexploded ordnance, the chemicals in the water, chemicals in the land. These things will be here for generations.
That's Professor Kyle Kajihiro, who gives tours of the site of Pearl Harbor that tourists don't usually see.
Why is it that you think we know about one story and not the other?
I think the erasure of the Hawaiian story is necessary for this other story of American innocence to be told. If you look at what really happened in Hawaii, the overthrow, the occupation of Hawaii, the taking of land, it's not a pretty story. This is Pu'uloa years before it was Pearl Harbor. So that story needs to be told.
We have another call waiting. Hello.
Hello.
Go ahead. What's your question, please?
My question concerns, you blame it on the white man on how we came over and take your land. I don't understand when the Japanese are coming over and they're buying it, and that's okay. I don't see what this is about the Howleys coming over. You come over to our country and buy up our land too. It works both ways. I don't see how you can have this rallies and everything against the white man. This is America,
Let me just say something to this call. This is not America. This is Polynesia. Our country was stolen. That's one of your problems. You're ignorant, woefully ignorant. I am very active against Japanese ownership of our land. I have testified repeatedly at various commissions and at the legislature in opposition to any foreigner owning Hawaiian land. But you, caller, need to learn about Hawaiian history and about where you are. And that attitude that you have is the same attitude that Joey Carter has. You think you are in America. You are not in America. You are in a colony that is in Polynesia that was forcibly taken, just as, I might add, all of Eastern Europe was forcibly taken by the Soviet Union, which Americans think is a very, very bad place. The bad, bad Soviet Union. Well, the bad, bad United States of America took Puerto Rico, it took Alaska, it stole Indian land, it took Hawaii, it took Guam, it took Micronesia, Palau, and you had better learn that history because you are the recipient of an imperialist tradition.